Just close his fucking door.
Yeah. Jamming at the mic like a trigger with a finger itch. Whole damn marker hanging off a single fucking center switch. Glasses glint, execution in his iris flick. Every pause feel like a loaded gun click. Red tie strangling liquidity circulation. Breath control dictating global valuation. Dot plot scatter looking like a ritual summation. Every dot a body chalked in asset allocation. Say one syllable, boom. Pensions getting vaporized. Blink half a second wrong, whole sectors euthanized. Liquidity dry, then he flooded like a tidal shift. Same man either kill you or print you a fucking lift. Nasdaq twitching like it caught a seizure fit. Doves whisper mercy, hawks screaming bleed the bitch. Every continent a catalyst, ignition spark. Either light the fuse or bury you in the dark. Breath hitch, whole world locking in place. Trillions on the line hanging off his face. One valve tilt, now your whole account in the race. Or you riding rockets laughing straight into space.
Finger on the switch, don't slip. Green or red, same devil on the script. Heartbeat sing to the live stream drip. Everybody pray, he don't say wild shit. Hey, say, fucking say it now. Rip us to the sky or burn it to the ground. Print that money, flood the whole damn town. Or kill the lights, let the red rain drown. Say, fucking see out. Cross the grave, what's it about? One man talk, that's the route to a Lambo. Or wipe the counts.
Suit clean pressed, but the aura straight demonic. Voice calm, but the impact catastrophic. Mic check, echo sound like war hydraulics. Fun stampede, panic algorithmic S&P. Gas spin like it underwater lock. Options chain twisted in a fucking shot. Gamma squealing, tires skidding off the block. Every hedge fund praying he don't drop the wrong talk. Data dependent, yeah, that shit a coded curse. Marker read between the lines and make it worse. Forward guidance cutting deep like a surgeon's thirst. Either stitch you up or put you in a hearse. Screens flash white, portfolios glitching out. Traders losing years of life in a minute bout. He cleared throat, that's the reaper shout, not a cough. Whole system taken out, no drums, just heartbeats pounding ribs. Grown men begging jobless, claims to live. One man, one mic, one chair, one script. Whole damn planet hanging on his lips.
Say, fucking say it now. Rip us to the sky or burn it to the ground. Print that money, flood the whole damn town. Or kill the lights, let the red rain drown. Say, fucking say it out. Knows the way, what's it about? One man talk.
I was broke watching candles in a dim lit room. Now the charts look like rockets when the green lines zoom. Every day like a whisper saying buy me soon. While the bears in the comments yelling market doom. I don't gamble with luck, I calculate the storm. Like a captain reading tides when the waves get warm. Volume spikes like thunder when the bell gets rung. And the tape starts singing like a loaded drum. Style loss is tight like a seatbelt click. Why do weekends fold when the market gets slick? I've been studying patterns like a code in the sky. When the breakout hits, it's a king supply. Every red day's just fuel for the climb. Every scar in the chart turn gold over time. If the market's a jungle, then I'm built to survive. Turn the spark in the trade to a fire in my life. Light it up, trade like king, yeah, yeah. 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 Trade like king. Market open like thunder when the bells scream loud. Got the wolves on the floor and the sharks in the crowd. But I move through the chaos like a ghost in the tape. Every wick tell a story, every level escape. Resistance like walls, but they crumble in time. When momentum comes rushing like a runaway rhyme. Every trade like a blade that I sharpen alone. Now the market paying rent on the throne I own. Light it up, trade like king, yeah, yeah. 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 trade like kings. Trade like kings. Trade like kings.
Oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where I'm Matt Kohrs, and I have brought shame upon my family. I'm sorry for playing two songs this morning. I'm sorry for having a cough. I'm such a fucking loser. I can't do anything right. I can't do anything right in my entire life. I'm a worm. I'm a loser. I'm a reject. I'm not even a skater boy. I've brought shame upon Avril Lavigne. It's my fault. There's no one else to blame but me. Anything that goes wrong in your day today, please blame it on me. You know, keep a list of everything that does not go swimmingly well in your world today. Please DM it to me and blame it on me. It's 100% my fault. Whatever goes wrong in your life today, you could yell at me. My DMs are open. My emails are open. It is 110% my fault. And I will be accepting that. Just for today, though, unless I also mess up everything tomorrow, then I'd have to run it back tomorrow. So like I said, please keep a list of what does not go perfectly well in your life today. Send it to me, and I will be doling out apologies when I'm on my couch tonight watching a little bit of TV. But remember, nothing is your fault. Whether you do not make money in the market, you don't get your promotion at the job, or maybe you find out that your wife is cheating on you and you have 8 kids at home, it's all my fault. It's all Iran is your fault. Yes, of course it is my fault. 111% Iran is my fault. In fact, you guys probably don't know this, but I actually, a couple weeks ago, at this point, 22 days ago, I called up Trump and I was like, you know what would be really, really funny right now? Like, you know how you like to make people laugh and you have like a little bit of comedic timing? It'd be pretty funny if you started bombing Iran. And he's like, really? You think that would play well? I was like, dude, it would be so funny. And here we are. Tori trades is your fault. She is my fault. I ended up taking her class and I told everyone about how amazing trendline trading was. And it's my fault. Casper is my fault. Yeah. Casper missing is my fault. Casper SMC. ICT is my fault. It's all my fault, folks. Matt killed Ned. I did. Did I? Where the hell is Ned? I might have killed Ned, honestly. I might have killed Ned. Not really sure. But I apparently also killed the stock market today. If you guys haven't seen it already, the equities market and the metals market is getting curb stomped. I'm talking American History X, teeth on the sidewalk, slammed in the back of the head. That's what happened. That's the visualization of what's happening in the market right now. And I have to admit, it is pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. So that's what we're going to be breaking down today. Folks, I hope you crushed it yesterday. Yesterday was an FOMC day. Here's the TLDR. Fed fund rate remains unchanged, and they're really concerned about jobs and potentially inflation. Obviously, I'm running out of room on the screen right now for that particular headline, so I did do that interesting technique where you write it and then write it and then write it and then come back up because I don't know. The headline was longer than I thought it was going to be completely honest. But you shouldn't be surprised because remember, I am a piece of shit loser who cannot get anything right in this world. So that's where we are at. But I hope you crushed yesterday with the chaos of the Fed interest rate decision. Obviously, putting the developments from there, a softer labor market with the expectation for increases in inflation. We're on those initial steps for stagflation. And then this morning, we're listening to Hegseth and Besant pop off. And the situation in Iran is not trending in the right way. So you take all those ingredients and you put it together, and before you know it, you're baking a bear pie. And that's exactly what's happening right now. So the market not looking so good, volatility up. The fact that metals are getting hit is like kind of crazy, which is exactly why I have on this protective eyewear today, because things are pretty freaking red and I don't want to burn out my corneas. But we have a lot to chit chat about. If you haven't already, it would be a great help to me if you guys could hit that like button, whether you're watching on Rumble, whether you're watching on YouTube, or maybe you're even watching on Grindr. Don't forget to hit that like button because it really does help promote this show to other people who might be interested. These algorithm overlords basically look at engagement. So if you want to say hi to your friend above you in chat, below you in chat, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And with that being said, let me see if I could switch things up to actually explain what's happening in the market today. Dow futures jumped 300 points. Brent oil jumps as market continues to get its face destroyed. So the SPY is gapping down. After losing 1.4% yesterday, it is down an additional 0.8. The Q's lost also 1.4% yesterday. It's down an additional 0.95. Oil is actually up 1%, trailing at 96. Bitcoin's down almost 3%, dropping from 74,000 down to 69. And then you can see here, volatility is up and away. When this was yesterday morning, that was VIX expiration, and that marked a multi-week low. And vol is now popping from 21 all the way up to 27. And just to show you some of the other chaos going on, silver is down 13%, gold is down 7%. Side note, if you caught a piece of this, congrats to you. That's a shitload of money, especially on silver. I mean, think about how many noobs just got involved in the market because they're like, oh, silver's ripping. And they got involved somewhere above 100. They're like, oh, it's going to keep going. And now we're already trading at 67. That's brutal. So I hope hanging around with the Goonie community, you guys realize that on this technical breakdown, on this momentum breakdown, I hope you guys, if you played it at all, got on the right side of it, because this one-day move, and really the evident move is right here, this breakdown at 78.50. We sold off, we bounced up, it got rejected. You enter here at 78. Your, cut point, your risk point is 82. You're risking 4 buckaroos. And at this point, your stops are break even and you are riding it down with your first target all the way here at 64, the low from, early February. So it's a beautiful play. Obviously, similar setup in gold. You didn't really get the retest, so you had to be kind of quick to get this one. So I understand missing that one a little bit more. Oil, just because we're here looking at commodities, still strong. Volatility starting to pick up like no other. Lots of movement, lots of opportunity. And it's one of those situations where don't be married to the bull case. Don't be married to the bear case. Obviously, as a long-term investor, you should be bullish. There's no long-term investor who wins being a bear. That's just not how the market is really set up. So as a long-term investor, yes, be a bull. But remember, that's long-term investing. And we talk about that every once in a while. But here we're really diving into the concept of what to do as an active trader, whether a day trader or a swing trader. And I would very strongly argue as a day trader or as a swing trader, you should just go with whatever the trend is. Don't say it has to be bullish. Don't think it has to be bearish. Whenever we get caught into those thought processes of it has to do something, that's exactly when the market embarrasses you, because that's what the market, I suppose, is built to do. So anyway, keep that in mind, but right now, things are not looking the best. Escalating attacks on Gulf energy assets plunge Iran war into a new phase, and obviously that phase ain't so bueno. Trump warns will, quote-unquote, blow up South Pars gas field in Iran if strikes against Qatar energy continue. Coming out of Qatar today, recently, I should say, and obviously this could change on a moment's notice, but the most recent thing I was reading was that they were able to put out the fires in the fields and they are no longer being attacked. But once again, this is obviously news that could change from minute to minute. Oil briefly hits 119 in Europe. Gas prices surge after attack on energy facilities in Qatar and Iran. So depending on what market you're paying attention to, oil is sky high. Like if you look at crude oil right now in Oman, I think it's above 175 a barrel. Remember, there are independent oil markets. It's not like just the U.S. oil market is the one running the show based on the CME. There are other markets, and based on their location, some of them are absolutely sky high, which is not only clearly sending prices up, but think about what that means in the medium term of just inflation's going to be higher. So pay attention, obviously. Right now, there's a strong correlation between what's happening in volatility and what's happening in oil. They're not one-to-one correlated. There are squared value for my math nerds. It's not a perfect positive one, but it's around like maybe a 0.75, a 0.8. There's a lot of correlation between this and this. And remember, VIX is inversely correlated to the S&P 500, which means right now, so is oil. So please be paying attention to that. But it's not the only thing having crazy movement. Gold absolutely plummeting and silver absolutely plummeting. And I honestly don't know in the short term if they're going to be bouncing back. Gold and silver sell off as inflation fears grip global markets. So this is somewhat of a big update from the FOMC meeting yesterday. I will be explaining it, but once again, the major thing that you need to memorize from this is as inflation goes up, people are getting a little bit worried and it's stoking a sell-off. Now, I know at first you might be confused, be like, hang on, I thought that people went into commodities when there was just generically fear. And you are right, but that's more of a medium to longer term call out. In a general sense, when like shit is hitting the fan, people just sell everything and they feel more comfortable in cash. I'm not saying that's the right move, but I'm saying in the very, very short reaction, when we get bad news, you generally see everything sell off. So I just want to kind of explain that because you might be reading this headline and saying, hang on, I was told that when inflation is higher, people go to gold, so shouldn't gold be going up on this? And you are right, but once again, it's a time frame issue, so I just wanted to take a second to explain that. But overall, I'm not necessarily sold on the move upward on gold and silver actually having anything to do with inflation, which is another part of why I think this is a very, very poor headline. Because remember, let's just use gold as an example. We had sky high inflation, the highest inflation we've had in a minute in June of 23. And gold at that point was trading at 1,950. Inflation actually got better, and then that's when gold started to rip. So as inflation improved, as in inflation going down, gold started going up. So the entire idea of trying to associate the recent movement with inflation, I don't buy it at all, because clearly it wasn't the impetus for this. I think a stronger argument is actually what central banks globally are doing, and what happened, well, even before that, but really started to ramp up, is a lot of other central banks, not just our Fed, but started buying gold. I think you just had a natural, very strong buyer in the market. That probably had to do with some of the actions of Trump and people saying, wow, the USD is a little bit crazy. He can come in and take out a leader, a dictator whenever he wants. So gold clearly going up. And in my personal opinion, it really does not have much to do with inflation. So to try to really tie the recent movement to inflation, I think it is just not reasonable. Obviously, those are my own thoughts and opinions, but I think anyone who has been paying attention to inflation knows that we spiked all the way back here when gold was literally half of what it is right now. So just wanted to share that. Obviously, if you're actively trading it, you don't give a shit about that anyway. As an active trader, you're looking for either mean reversion or trend following, or maybe you're a really advanced trader and you're looking at something a little bit more like arbitrage across markets. But really, the concept of what is inflation doing, what are central banks doing, in the short term, that's not going to have an impact on you at all. But I do want to let you know, covering all this, I think that's going to be the high that we saw in late January. I think that's going to be the high that we see for a while in both gold and silver. And I guess another way to say this is I am not looking to buy this dip. And I think all the people, this is just another FOMO thing. You can see it on some of the biggest assets in the world, like gold, which is above 15 trillion, or you could see it on smaller things such as AMC and GME. To me, this is the exact same FOMO psychology where it rips and rips and rips. And then all of a sudden you have a bunch of people getting involved who have never traded before. And they're like, hey, I heard it's going up, I should buy. They buy at the top and then the market just dumps it on them. And I'm trying to illustrate the point that it's the same psychology, and you see it play out on the shittiest little meme stocks and the little meme cryptos all the way up to some of the largest commodities in the world. It's the exact same shit. So for me, I think this is retail driven. I think the shrewd, smart players are selling, and this is not something that I'm looking to buy the dip for an active trade. If you're asking me about where do I see gold decades from now, like if you're, I don't know, a person who's a gold bug and you just want to invest in this, yeah, sure, it's probably going to be fine in a couple of decades, but I'm talking to the active traders. I am not looking to buy this dip, and as I'm about to prove to you, the smarter players in the market are also not. Breaking, gold drops below 4,700 and silver falls below 70 as rate cuts are priced out due to rising inflation and the Iran war. You could tie it to that. I think that's a better explanation than the Iran war, than inflation. I think the Iran war and what central banks are doing makes a bit more sense, but this is really what I find compelling. Wall Street is selling gold and silver to retail investors. Yes, you heard that right. The smart players with better access and better resources and a better understanding of the situation are net sellers. Wall Street is selling. It's only retail that is buying. Since Q2 of 2025, retail investors have bought $70 billion in gold ETFs. These purchases have more than tripled over the last 6 months. Over the same period, institutional investors have sold $1 billion, with outflows accelerating in late January after gold prices crashed 20% in just 3 days. Meanwhile, silver ETFs have recorded $10 billion in retail purchases over last year. Over the same period, institutions have sold $200 million. Retail investors are all in on precious metals, and if there's one thing you need to know about retail traders, it's that they don't know what they are doing, at least in an aggregate sense. So I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. I am not your mom. I am not your financial advisor. And more importantly, I am not clairvoyant. But I've lived through this craziness where we see certain FOMO in markets and things rip and rip and rip, and people get caught at the top and then they hold on to it thinking it has to come back. And folks, it does not have to come back. Now, this particular circumstance, I do believe in the long-term gold and silver have a much higher chance of bouncing back than meme cryptos and penny stocks and shitty stocks like AMC and GME. But in this circumstance, in the short term, am I buying the dip? No. The Wall Street is selling. I want to trade with the big guys. I want to be in the same direction as the players of they know what they're doing. And right now we have empirical evidence that suggests the only buyers right now in the market are retail, as in the uninformed traders. So if you were thinking, should I buy this dip? Like I said, I'm not clairvoyant. I can't guarantee where this goes, but I think it is much more statistically likely, not a guarantee, that the highs that we saw in late January for gold and silver are going to be holding for a while. And if anything, I think we're going to be giving back a decent percentage of this overall rip, maybe as much as 50% of the total rip from, let's say, I don't know, this bottom that we saw somewhere in 24, 25, all the way to the spike in 26. I'm looking for a decent double-digit percentage pullback. Excuse me. Jesus, what is in my throat? My bad. Do I think it's gonna all of a sudden crash and never come back? No, I'm not saying that at all. It's just, I think if you're trying to catch this falling knife, you are not doing what smart traders are doing. Fed holds interest rates steady. Here's what that means. So the big news as of yesterday is that the Fed fund rate remains at 3.5%. It is referred to as a hawkish pause. Why is it called a hawkish pause? Well, it's a pause because we didn't change the Fed fund rate. It's hawkish because if you look at the SEP, the summary of economic projections, they think inflation is going up, so they're leaning a little bit more hawkish. I guess you could also somewhat call it a hawkish pause because the new Fed chair, who's going to be coming in after May, if he is confirmed, is also an extreme hawk. But more importantly than all of that, is we laid out some serious bets. What will Powell say during his March press conference? We made all of these bets yesterday, and I have to admit, my favorite bet of all time is right here. I bet $250 that he would not say the word Iran, and it paid out 646. That is some nice return right there. So the account is continuing to grow and grow and grow as we are betting on very, very degenerate things. But the fact that people thought Jerome Powell, who is one of the most polished speakers when it comes to like political talk, he doesn't like to say anything. And he barely said the word Middle East, no less saying the word Iran. So we lock that in like no other. Powell says inflation isn't coming down as much as hoped. So there was kind of two separate daggers that happened yesterday, which is part of the reason why the market is getting hit so bad. And once again, just if you're joining in now, the SPY is down, the Qs are down, silver is down, gold is down, volatility is up, while oil is kind of flat. But two particular daggers that are hurting the equities market. Inflation expectations are up and jobs are not being created, which is really, really rhyming with the same tune of stagflation. Fed votes to hold rates steady, notes uncertain impacts from the Iran war, which is exactly why if you look at the SEP, the summary of economic projections, this comes out every other FOMC meeting. That's exactly why the new base expectation right here, PCE, the December projection for 2026, last time in the December time period, they thought it would be 2.4%. But because of this Iran uncertainty, they've now raised it. On average, the voting FOMC member now thinks inflation is going to go up to 2.7%. It's a kind of a big deal to increase by 0.1. This is a jump of 0.3. 2.4 up to 2.7, and they even increased their inflation expectation for 2027 from 2.1 to 2.2. Now, obviously, fast forwarding out to 2028, they think they're going to get it under control, but this is the double dagger situation, folks. Jobs are not being created, most likely because of AI. In fact, that's exactly what Powell said. And on top of that, an increase in inflation. Now, are they going to be right? I have no idea. For all I know, the Iran situation could end today and the UAE could take over the strait and everything could be hunky-dory in the world. Or the situation could drag on and could lead to World War III. That could be nuclear fallout, and then trading stocks doesn't matter anyway because we're all just going to be going for water. I have no fucking clue. I don't know. I'm just letting you know what happened and how that's being reflected currently in the market. Trump wants Powell out. Powell is digging in. The Fed chair says he will stay on board until the Justice Department probe ends and maybe longer. That's the appropriate move in all reality. I know people who are Trump supporters are going to be like, you should get out of there. No, he shouldn't. When the history books are written, Powell will be going down as one of the better Fed chairman. I'm not saying he's the best. He's definitely not the worst. I would say he's on the right side of the bell curve. But right now, this guy he does a really good job of not being hawkish or dovish. He's kind of pretty neutral, which I think is a healthy mindset. Given the current situation, and also given what Trump said about wanting rates lowered, no one has been able to explain why he picked Kevin Warsh. Like no one can possibly explain that. I see people in Rumble chat saying, what a crook, Powell is horrible. Explain to me how Kevin Warsh better reflects what Trump wants. Seriously, explain that to me. Clearly, Trump wants all these rates cut. Why did he pick the most hawkish Fed person that we've ever had? It makes absolutely no sense. And yet I've still never heard anyone explain why that is happening. Very quickly, we didn't get the initial jobless claims, pretty much came in at expectation. There's really not much major data. We're not in earnings season. You might care about Micron. You might care about Alibaba. Micron revenue almost triples, tops estimates as demand for memory soars. And then also Alibaba's 67% profit plunge shows urgent need to monetize AI. So that's not helping the situation whatsoever. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter, mattkohrs.locals.com. It is free and comes out every single Sunday, and we're going to circle back to that. But very quickly, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all, play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right. I think today is going to be pretty important. I see a lot of people talking about gold and silver, so I'm going to leave silver up for a second. The SPY and the Qs are getting their face kicked in. Oil is going up. Momentum is bearish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour on the S&P 500, clearly bearish. If you're looking at the NASDAQ, the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, and the 4-hour, clearly bearish. If my numbers on NQ and ES look different from yours, that's because you did not roll the contract. Please roll your contract. If you are a futures trader, you need to roll your contract, and you need to do it like yesterday. Do it now. If your NQ numbers are not the same as mine, if your ES numbers are not the same as mine, if your CL, if your silver, if your futures commodities numbers are not the same as mine, it's because you did not roll your contract. Please roll your contract. I should also note that there are now upside gap fills in the chart. There's actually two. So SPX has an upside gap fill to 6710, 6711, and 6621. Does that mean they have to get filled today? No, there's no rules like it has to, but the odds are relatively high. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably not playing it because it's so severely against momentum. If I see strong options flow, I will. But it's not my base case on the day. In fact, my base case on the day, at least on a daily chart, I'm not talking intraday, but at least on a daily chart, is that the bears are clearly in control. Price structure, price momentum, options positioning, options flow. As of this morning, as of market open this morning, it does all favor the bears. So I just want to be very, very clear about my particular bias on a swing perspective. Now, that could change intraday, but yeah. The reason Matt has never heard anyone explain why Trump picked wars is that the explanation is being shadow banned on YouTube. No, it's because there's no explanation given. Pals the Thief asked why the budget for the new building is billions over. It's not billions over. Randy girl, ask yourself, are you getting real information, or are you maybe just stuck a little bit too much in an echo chamber, like you just hearing what you want? I would actually bet you any amount of money that he's going to win the lawsuit or win whatever the legal charge is about the whole building renovations. I bet you he wins. He's going to win. You're too much in your echo chamber about this particular thing. You are very much too much in your echo chamber. LOL, what a stupid comment by whoever said that. Yeah, it is a pretty dumb comment that, wait, you think I get my knowledge and my, I guess, up-to-date information from YouTube? Like, you think I'm watching YouTube videos to better understand why Trump made the decisions for the Fed chair? I didn't really think about it at all, but now that I'm saying that out loud, that's actually a dumber explanation than I could have ever possibly imagined. So congrats to you for having a stupid fucking comment. LOL. Okay, Matt, stick to stocks. You're just wrong. I don't know like what to tell you. And here's how it goes. Matt has Trump derangement syndrome. Okay. Do I have Trump derangement syndrome, or are you just retarded? Like, it's like, here we go. Like, you guys, it's so funny. As much as like tough MAGA people think they are, as soon as they're presented with one idea that like maybe doesn't jive with their brain, they like just fucking spiral out. Just grow the fuck up. You're allegedly an adult. Like, it's okay to have potentially conflicting opinions. You can be mature enough to identify where Trump has made good decisions or where Trump has made bad decisions. Whether you're extremely right-leaning, I hate to break it to you, he isn't perfect. Whether you're extremely left-leaning, I hate to break it to you, he isn't the reincarnation of evil. It's somewhere in the middle, and if you're too stupid to fucking recognize that, trading isn't for you. Like, you don't have enough brain capacity to survive what you need to do, because you have to, in the world of trading, you have to be able to manage to survive in variance. There's a lot of unknowns. It's commonly like a gray area type of a situation. And if you can't do well in that, you're just going to get destroyed. Like, you're just going to get eaten alive. Seriously, look into Austrian economics for a day or two, and that will tell you why you weren't wrong about inflation. What does that have to do with the Fed chair? I understand what Austrian economics are. That has nothing to do with Trump's Fed chair decision. You're stupid. You're trying to cosplay as a person who knows about the situation by saying terms such as Austrian economics. First of all, I would guarantee you don't know shit about Austrian economics. And even if you somehow magically could put together 2 sentences explaining what it is, you would rapidly understand that has nothing to do with Trump's decision. Like, Jesus, you're so stupid. You're so fucking stupid. And hey, if you want to live in your dumb fucking world, that's fine. That's not going to, like, no sweat off my back. But if you're making bets on that, like actively in the market, you're playing a very, very dangerous game. Like, I hope you are not betting with your kids' college funds. I very much, Matt, if these comments are stupid, it's your fault. Fuck. I can't even disagree with that, honestly, especially given my fuck ups this morning. In 1 minute, you inform me what I need to know. Whole day of CNBC, nothing but too late except the news from the great mighty Rick. Well, that's fair. I could only hope to be as good as Rick one of these days. I could only hope. Momentum is bad out of the gate. Mag 7 options flow slightly down. S&P 500 actually got a little bit of a pop. Remember, there are the upside gap fills, though we are pretty far away from the closest one. We're currently trading at 6562. The upside gap fill is 6621. So about 60 points above where we are about 60 points above where we are right now. Golly. Oh, I want to show you. I did trade early this morning. Let me show you what I did. I took some gnarly trades. Why are they not showing? Right here. It was all, well, wow, it's not showing at all. I sold at 8:15. I took my money at 8:27. I took a short early this morning, and I made a lot of money. So I actually don't have to trade anymore today. I made about 1.4K on all my big accounts. And then, of course, on Lucid, I just stopped myself at 250 because to my understanding of those rules and based on the buffer I already have, there's not much of an advantage for me going much past that. And then maybe sometimes I would just to build up more buffer just because, hey, the more the merrier when it comes to the world of buffer. But this particular time I didn't because I don't notoriously trade well on Thursdays. So when I saw that money and I was like, dude, I'm happy to take it. When I saw this money, I was happy to take it. I could hold it to right now and these would all be up another $2,500-$3,000. I'd be up a lot more if I held that initial position. But honestly, when I was trading in pre-market, I knew there was a data drop at 8:30. I also know that I tend to not do the best on Thursdays, just my own trading journaling on Thursdays. Recently, over the past month or two, does not really show like the best success. So when I put that all together and I saw all this green, like I said, just to once again show it to you, I like to be transparent. You can see I sold, I bought back, I sold again, I bought back. So one short trade making money, another short trade making money. And those two trades, the first one was at 7:30. I got out at 7:50. I had another one at 8:15. I got out at 8:27. Those were my two trades of the day thus far. And early morning worm gets to ride the bird or whatever the hell the saying is, and made some decent money. So not going to complain at all. So if I see a nice opportunity today, I'll still take it. I'm not saying I'm done on the day, but I am saying I don't feel like that much pressure to like over trade. You're the one spiraling, Matt. Oh, are you still on the whole Trump derangement syndrome? Honestly, TC piece? Do you legitimately think that it's Trump derangement syndrome by calling out something he's done that's not perfect? Like, for example, would you say that I have Trump derangement syndrome by saying it's stupid for a president to make a meme coin, dump it on everyone, and cause people to lose millions of dollars? Like, do I all of a sudden have Trump derangement syndrome by having an objective take that I think that's incredibly immoral? Like, is that like actually in your mind truly Trump derangement syndrome? Is it Trump derangement syndrome that I think what he's been doing with the trade war is actually good and it's going to benefit the U.S. in the long term? Like, is it weird that I in your mind, conflicting positive and negative statements about that? Like, it's not Trump derangement syndrome to say that his Fed chair pick is really, really confusing and objectively doesn't make that much sense. It just, that's not Trump derangement syndrome. I do think that people have Trump derangement syndrome, but I think then there's dumb fucks like you who say people have Trump derangement syndrome if they just bring up like one objective take that that's really not the best thing. Like that's like you can, I don't care if you're the biggest supporter of Trump ever. Like I do think he's done objectively good things, but you could also use two of your neurons to say, maybe the president shouldn't have his own meme coin that pumps and dumps for millions and millions of dollars. Like that's all right. That's okay. Like that's, you're not going to all of a sudden get sent to the gulag. You're not going to get exiled by your group. Like just chill. Breathe, brother. Breathe. 10 seconds in, 10 seconds out. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Matt knows everything. No, I don't. And I'm happy I don't. I like my world of once in a while realizing how stupid I am. It wouldn't be fun. Imagine living in this world where you knew everything. What would be the point? Half the dopamine I get in my daily basis is doing something that I didn't think was going to work, and then it magically works. All right. Are we about to get smacked here? We're 11 minutes into the day. Price action is attempting to recover a little bit. It's obviously adverse to overall momentum. Oil is going flat. Silver slightly down. Silver got beat up, dude. Silver's down 12%. It was down worse. Oddly enough, this is actually a little bit of recovery. Out of my own curiosity, how many of you are currently playing either gold or silver as an active trade? I'm not talking about it's a part of your investment account. I'm sure it's a part of many of your investment accounts. I'm saying like you're actively trading it, whether with ETFs or options or maybe even on the futures market. How many of you are like right now either looking to trade or actively in a trade on gold or silver? How many degenerate commodity traders do we have in here? How many? Matt, do you think Kevin Warsh will be a bad pick or just confusing because he's talking? Oh, I don't think he'll be bad. I hope he's good. And we should all hope that he's good because we're all going to get involved. Like we're all in the economy. It will impact us. I'm just saying it's confusing because Trump actively wants a dovish Fed chair. Trump wants the rates lower. And he picked one of the guys who is evidently on the other side. So I'm not saying he's bad or good. I'm just saying it's a confusing pick. I have Matt derangement syndrome. I as well. I have physical. Well, you're not actively trading it then. Just curious, didn't the market dump around this time last year? It dumped in April because of the trade war. Sold my puts yesterday. I'm buying some silver. Oh, Jesus. Be careful with that. I'm seeing no signs of actual buyers stepping in. I have 2 gold teeth. That counts. Metals shouldn't be moving like this. Why? Why shouldn't they be moving? It's a market. I used to till Apex banned trading metals due to volatility. There are other prop firms that allow you to trade it. Paper markets have F the whole thing. CME London corrupt. Paper markets have nothing to do with the CME London being corrupt. But also CME London, I think you're confusing things. There is a LME, a London's metal exchange that I fully agree is corrupt. And a lot of people think that, but you're confusing the CME with the London, and those are 2 separate things. There's the CME, and then there's the LME, the London Metal Exchange, who they've done really sus stuff in the past, specifically 2022, when they like were busting trades, as in like literally erasing trades for no good reason beyond protecting their billionaire investors. But the CME is a distinct thing. Those are not the same entity. I don't know of any corruption at the CME. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I mean, when it comes to large financial institutions, probably more corrupt than not corrupt. I'm just saying off the top of my mind, I can't list any cases of corruption the way I can with the LME. Yeah, the LME was a nickel trade. It was crazy. If you're a little bored today and you want to read a fucking insane story, search 2022 London Metal Exchange, the LME, and search busting nickel trades. It's a fascinating story. It really is. Kevin Warsh's father-in-law, Ronald Launder, who went to college with Trump and is credited with speaking Trump's desire to take Greenland. I don't understand how anyone thinks that someone whose bankruptcy every business he owned. That's not true. Trump hasn't bankrupted every business he owns. That's what I'm saying. That's actually Trump derangement syndrome, Denise. Like, you're just making something up. You're speaking either you believe it and you're wrong, or you're speaking in a hyperbolic nature. But no, Trump has not bankrupted every business he runs. Like, you literally just made that up. And that's what I'm saying is, like, we're here to an attempt to be objective. You could say positive or negative things, but they should be backed up by evidence, fact. They should be reflected in reality. That's a healthier way to operate within this world, especially as a trader. So to say something like that, he's bankrupted every business he's run, that it's just not true. Like, objectively, that's not true. He's a billionaire. You might have issues with how he became a billionaire, and you might have issues with the fact that his daddy gave him a loan, but in reality, his daddy gave him a loan of $1 million. He turned $1 million into a multi-billion-dollar empire. That's a great ROI. It really, really is. Trump stakes. Okay, I'm not saying that. I never said some of his companies didn't go bankrupt. I never said that. The statement was all of his businesses have gone bankrupt. That's not true. I never made the statement that some of them haven't. Obviously, some of them have, and very much in a public manner. Like, I'm not disagreeing with that. And I find that people, like, it's just, in this day and age, the average person, seemingly, I don't know what's going on with our education system, does not have the ability for basic critical thought. My statement was very, very simple. Clearly, not all of his businesses have gone bankrupt. I never said that none of them went bankrupt. That doesn't make sense. That's stupid. Trump, 1 million in the 80s. Once again, there's not many people in this world that if you gave them $1 million, either now or in the 80s or in the 60s or in the 20s, could grow it into a multi-billion-dollar empire. Like that, it's just, I mean, honestly, most of us in here, if you just magically got $1 million, you could not turn that into $1 billion. You couldn't. That's a very, very difficult thing to do. Once again, you might disagree with how he did it, but at the end of the day, he did do it. And you should maybe be a little honest with yourself of the probabilities of you being able to pull it off. All successful business owners have a record of fail. Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to try to I guess, dunk on people's failures. But if they have failures but are overall successful, they're still doing better than you. Like, I don't understand this idea, but maybe that's because, like, I view myself to be an entrepreneur. I like the concept of entrepreneurship. I think entrepreneurship is probably one of, like, the reasons the U.S. is the U.S. Like, I think it is endless the positive benefits of our strong entrepreneurship class. So, like, I'm always going to defend it through and through. And if you're looking at entrepreneurs and saying, ha ha ha, you had this failure, I mean, congrats to you in the short term, but you might be right in the short term, but in the long term, you're going to be horrifically wrong. You're going to be horrifically wrong. He received over $400 million from his dad. I don't think that's true. I think he just made that up. Unless you've been bankrupt 3 times, then have you ever really tried? If you haven't taken out your kid's college loan to bet it on 0 DTE options using trend lines, have you ever really tried? I don't want you guys coming at me saying, Matt, I tried at failing. I tried at trading and I failed. I need someone to help me. What's going on? The markets are rigged. No. You haven't tried at trading unless you've already gotten a 3rd mortgage on your house. You're slinging 0 DTE calls off a 3rd tap of a trend line. That's the only time you've actually tried at trading. They used ICT concept. Dude, if you put together ICT with trend lines, golly, the world better watch out because we have a new Warren Buffett. Hey, Chief. Hope all is well. Do you stop doing recap videos? Correct. Haven't seen you post in a while. Stay blessed and keep up the good laughs. I appreciate that. Yeah, we stopped the recap just because they're right now, the age of social media is more so moving into the form of short form content. So now we post multiple short form pieces of content every single day. We post it everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Rumble, YouTube. We've just pivoted the type of content that we're posting because the world itself has pivoted and there's a higher desire for that type of content. The people who have failed at least had the balls to try. Yeah, I agree with that. Has anyone backtested ICT? Yeah, everyone who's backtested ICT has proven that it doesn't work in the long run. And then that's when all the ICT dweebs could be like, but it's kind of discretionary, actually, brother. Well, it's not a system then if it's discretionary. If it has any aspect of discretion, it is then discretion. Yeah, there's been many people who have backtested ICT and it does not work. It can work if you somehow know which ones to skip and which ones to take, but that's the same as any form of discretionary trading. So then what's the point? If Piper's not allowed in this studio, haven't you seen in the new place? No, she sits on me every morning when I get ready. Like I'm the first one up in the house, so she likes to hang out with me. But then by the time the sun comes up and the birds start chirping, she likes to do her morning session of bird hunting. So in the last place, I lived on floor 52, so she wasn't really into bird hunting because not many birds were coming up to floor 52. But now then I'm on my, I'm on the ground level. She's into birds. JCap makes it work. Yeah, because he doesn't trade ICT. He learned the general, he got pulled into the markets from ICT, but that doesn't mean he trades it. ICT is the person who he first got him interested in the market. Then he took the system and made it its own, and he made a bunch of money. So actually, I think what you're saying proves my point is he had to switch it to make his money. It's not like he traded ICT out of the box. That's just not how it works. ICT concepts are more like a dictionary than a novel. ICT concepts are actually kind of for retards. Do you know how stupid these people sound when they're they try to talk about things? They literally just make up terms. Well, they don't even make up terms. They take terms that already have definitions like liquidity, and then they try to apply just random concepts to it. And they're like, this is a liquidity sweep. This is where these are undecided candles. It's just the dumbest group of traders on the internet. It really, really is. And it's tough because he does bring a lot of people into the markets, and I'm not against that. I just hope that those people who are brought into the market quickly realize that if they continue on that pathway, it's not going to work for them, and they need to find their own trading strategy. What does ICT stand for? I think it stands for I can't trade. Matt, I've made 10K payouts this month off of $600. Thanks for everything you do. Jay Hundo, congrats to you. Not a single fair value gap or trendline insight. That's all you, man. Massive congrats. Do you have an opinion on the silver bullet system? Isn't that a part of ICT? I think it is. And if it is, it's fucking retarded. You cannot find a single person actually trading ICT that's profitable. You can't. They don't exist. The people who trade ICT that you might think you're citing, they've gone on record saying they've dramatically changed the system so it actually worked. There is no person, including ICT himself, who trades ICT who is making money. That person does not exist. I want to be clear. This person who people are following, similar with TJR, they are not profitable traders. They are not at all. ICT is just a cult level mentor to people who people seemingly defend, even though they're all losing money. I guess a devout aspect of the cult is to continually piss away your money. I don't know. And then TJR, he hit it big early on one crypto, and ever since then has not been a profitable trader. I don't know why people fall for this shit time and time again. It blows my fucking mind. Do you have training videos on your paid Discord? Yes, there are many. Can we see spot gamma? Of course. Spot gamma, it popped, went flat, took a hit, and is actually recovering right now. And the Mag 7 is full on recovering. We're seeing a pretty decent pop all the way back up to VWAP. The white dash line is VWAP. The orange dash line is regular trading hours VWAP. And for right now, the red and the red are just the current intraday high and low. So we made a low down here around, 326, and we were running up to VWAP. Maybe this is going to be a VWAP rejection. Maybe it's going to be a breakout. I'm sure there's many people who are going to be buying here. I'm sure there's many people who are going to be selling here. We're going to find out who is right. But if you're watching NQ, we're kind of in a pretty key level at the moment. Honestly, if it's a swift rejection off this level, I might take that trade. I'm still bullishly biased because all the momentum is still bearish. I just think the bears are still fully in control. I love to listen to Matt. Whoever wants to visit Japan, Tokyo, hit me up. Dude, I want to visit Tokyo. Can we get your configurations on these indicators? I mean, there's no special. It's just VWAP from 6 p.m., VWAP from 9:30, and then these EMAs are just the 10, the 20, and the 50. That's all it is. 10, 20, 50. And then this is the initial balance. This red line, and this blue line are initial balance high, initial balance low, initial balance 50%. So nothing too special. Just these are just EMAs, the 10, the 20, and the 50. Did I leave New York? Yes, I did leave New York. I mean, I'm happy I'm out of New York, and it seems like it's getting run into the ground by that fucking loser Mimdani. But I didn't leave because of Mimdani. I didn't think he was going to be this bad. I left because I needed more space at the age of what? I'm now 31, I think. Am I 31? I'm 31, turning 32. Jesus Christ. Is that how old I am? I think I'm 31. Am I 31? I'm pretty sure I'm 31. I'm somewhere between 30 and 32. Anyway, I just needed more space. After 10 years of living in a small apartment, I lost my mind and I just need more space. Any chance you get an interview with Tori soon? No, I don't feel like interviewing a scam artist. What's the point? It just Mimdani derangement syndrome. Yeah, that's what I have. What's my age again? I'm pretty sure I'm 31. I'm 75% sure I'm 31. I mean, after 21, what's the point? What's it? 21, 35, you could become president. At a certain point, I mean, I don't even care about the age of Social Security anymore because I'm not going to be getting that. Once you hit 21, folks, it just doesn't fucking matter. It just doesn't matter. We almost hit VWAP. Are we going to run back up there and get shamacked? I mean, I don't really need to trade anymore today. I did well on the tradeifys. I did well on the take profits. I did well on the legends. Actually, on the legends, I'm only 1.7K away from passing. The lucids, I'm done with those on the day. I'm not going to trade these. And then on the FFNs, I have another, I don't know, I guess I can make it 2, 3, 6. 25 car insurance is cheaper. They say that until then you start to account for inflation, and my car insurance just keeps going up and up and up. So I'm told this idea that it gets cheaper, but I don't actually believe it. I don't believe it whatsoever. All right, let's get some tendies and tunes pumping before we see if we're going to get this VWAP rejection or not. Popular. All right, here we go. This is all on tendies and tunes if you're interested.
still trading on a free app. Damn, that's cute.
Mag 7 is popping. It's actually really popping since 937. S&P 500 not so much. It did pop and started to turn at 950. I'm not in a trade right now, but I'm really wondering if we're going to get rejected somewhere between 20 and 50. 520 to 550 looking at NQ. If you're trading NQ, make sure to roll your contract to the June month, month 6. The futures code for month 6, aka June, is M, as in Milo, as in Matt, as in the letter M.
We ain't the same. Yeah, you know I trade for survival, I trade for the game. What's that? You flexing 100, that's minimum wage. Shit for real. I just made your whole salary, now back to my trades. Get that money, stack it high, don't play. Yeah, run it. I'll make more in a minute than you make in a day. Flipping stocks while you're stuck in your grind. Out here, I'm out here balling, you just falling behind.
Oh, while we're waiting for this, Democrats walk out of Bondi meeting on Epstein files. Justice Department leaders offered to meet with lawmakers and sustain criticism. This shit is not going away. Democratic lawmakers walked out of the Justice Department briefing demanding that Attorney General Pam Bondi give a sworn deposition. I don't understand how she still has her job. I don't understand how she still has her position. I don't understand how the long reach of the law has not come for her yet, because it seems crazy that she's doing what she's doing still. I just don't understand it. Can you explain why the contract numbers are different before rolling the contract if it's the same asset? Not sure. Because remember, futures contracts get delivered. You have to, that's like what the futures market is there's a natural expiration for the delivery of that. So before, if you were, I don't know, a large farmer and you had, you wanted to protect your business against live cattle, you could take delivery of live cattle at a certain price. Some of them are cash settled instead of physically settled, but there had to be an because the futures market was initially meant for hedging. That's like how it was traded. So for the hedging to be possible, there had to be an end to the contract to take quote unquote delivery. Mag 7, S&P 500, we're right at that VWAP level. Is that going to be it? Are we getting a swift rejection there? Is anyone... let me switch up this playlist. Question for all of you. Is anyone taking this trade, this VWAP rejection trade? Yes, no, maybe so. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Maybe you're just skipping it. Maybe you're just waiting. Maybe you're waiting for confirmation or something. But just right, we're at VWAP, the volume weighted average price. And we've had quite a bounce all the way to it. We've gone from 326, we bounced 200 points to this level. And it's also 10 a.m. So we've been more so recently clocking this concept of the 10 a.m. reversals. So I'm just wondering if any of you are actually taking that trade, the rejection trade. I mean, it's not much risk if you're wrong. All right, I'm zoomed in pretty heavily on the 100 tick here just to kind of watch this. But VWAP is 27 right there, this white dash line. We did overshoot it for a second at 10:01. But are we seeing the classic 10 a.m. reversal? Damn, you could have already locked that in. You're short at 27, locking at 500. That's $500. That's a pretty good trade. Dang. Am I jealous? A little. Am I jealous? A wee bit. Well, let's see. Obviously, if you're taking this, a pretty reasonable risk point is 530, so you have to be okay risking 25 points.
Order filled. Order submitted.
You know what? I'll risk a little bit of the gains I've already made on the day. Why not? I wish I got a fill right here at 505 just so I'm protected by 500. Instead, my fill is 91. So this could have been a better entry just around these key levels of what's good, what's not good. But just kind of messing around, not really taking it too seriously, at least not quite yet. Markers only. Okay, cool. And wow, I actually bounced right off of that. Let's see. This is not really a bread and butter play for me because momentum is actually on the very short term pretty decent right now. So this is a little bit more of a mean reverting play, which I'll do every so often. This is by no means my normal play. Like I said, this is kind of counterintuitive. The 1 minute and the 5 minute is actually kind of bullish right now. So this is a short. So like I said, this is not my run of the mill trade. But like I said, recently we've been seeing a lot of rejections at 10 a.m. We're at a key level. I didn't have to risk much. I do wish my fill was at 505. So I'm risking about probably 15 more points than I should be. Fuck. Random missed call. Maybe I get lucky. Maybe I don't. Maybe yes. Maybe no. I'd feel a lot better if we can take out whatever this low is here. 62. Which, at that point, who wouldn't feel better? Because that's 30 points in the money. But I'm just looking at this swing low at 957. Just vibe, you know, we're just vibing it out today. We're just vibing it out today. Seeing if the VWAP rejection's an actual viable play. It is struggling at 500 in both directions. Doesn't really want to be above, but doesn't really want to be below. We're moving pretty aggressively right around 500. You know what? Let me just mark that out so we can see. Kind of above, kind of below. Doesn't really feel the most comfortable hanging out on either side of it. So patience is required to see who, quote unquote, wins this fight. Oh, patience, patience, patience. Please be careful with over betting today. Today is a very, very easy day to get caught up in a trade with way too much size that you shouldn't be caught up in. I'm trading a contract. Not only that, I'm trading a contract after already making money. Like, I'm kind of playing with the house's money today. Of course, I want to win. I'm still doing this in an attempt to make more money. But you don't want to let things get out of hand. Volatility is high. You really don't need to be swinging for the fences. And what I'm doing today, just to recap, it is an abnormal play for me, but I'm literally just paying the VWAP rejection. It's as simple as that. Made my money today, just taking little scouts. I think I'm done. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I think, like a sign that you're like maturing as a trader is those days where you're like, yeah, I'm happy with these gains. I'm moving on with my life. I have other shit to do. You don't need to be trading all the time, like every single day. Sometimes you make some good money and you're like, sick, time to go to the gym, go for a walk, go do your laundry, go get some groceries. Like, in my mind, a lot of us are trading so we have that freedom to go do other things, not to just be endlessly tied to our computers. So it is okay to lock in your gains early and say, fucking see ya. See ya. That's completely fine, completely acceptable. We're just vibing today, folks. We're just vibing. While we're vibing to see if I actually do or don't make money on this trade, very quickly, this is the final day of Apex's 85% off deal. This is pretty much their max good deal. The max is 90%, but 85% pretty much there. This is your last trading session, 13 hours. So once again, code Goonie, 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 Goonie will get you up to 85% off. So if you're trying, you can still pass Apex in one day. You can't do that hedging stuff anymore. But I do want to let you know the brand new accounts, code Goonie, it's the final day. And with today's range and volatilities, yeah, this is probably a pretty good odds day if you can get on the right side of the trend to really ride that trend. So I just want to call that out. This is the final day, up to 85% off, code Goonie. My mod's putting in chat, or you could just go to apextraderfunding.com and type in Goonie when you're checking out. Double check that it's actually typed in, because if you don't, you're not going to get the discount, but there's no point in you paying full price. So if you want up to 85% off, use that code Goonie. It is the final trading session. All right. Like I said, I am watching this level. I really do wish I had that entry at 505 that I was talking about, because on this break of 62, I can move the stop to break even. I'd be protected by 500. It would be a optimal play. It really, really would. So that's my fault, the entry. Like I said, I can't be too harsh on myself because mean reverting trades are not my go-to. My brain isn't necessarily every single day wired to look for that. So I was a little late to respond, and honestly, a better trade would have just been directly in there at 27 or something. So, well, this sucks. I was green for a second, and then something big just popped. I think this might be coming for me. That was a big pop. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 400 tick bars in a row. We just ripped from 75 up to 512 like it was absolutely nothing. It's coming maybe back for VWAP.
Order filled.
Knocked me out. Holy shit, what was that? That was a fake out breakdown right there. I was looking good. I was short here at 90. I was thinking 70 was going to snap it, go down to below 60, and look at this, 70 up to 40. That's a 70 point plus gain like it's nothing. Wow, something just happened. That was a clear shift in vibe. Clear shift in vibe. Holy shit. Shows you how quick today is. This is a great day to size down. Great day to size down, because if you're right, you can be very right. But if you're wrong, you do not want to be very wrong. But someone wanted this back above VWAP, and they very much wanted it back above VWAP. 50 point movement in 1 minute. That's what I'm saying. Easy day to pass these tests. If you can get on the right side of the trend, you could be greatly rewarded. Mag 7 is popping. S&P 500 had the flow alert. Oh, right there. So this flow alert marked the bottom, and we ripped right from there. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, now the 5 minutes trying to break out. I'm watching the 10 minute. It might be a trend reversal. Of course, it could just get smacked here, so I'm not chasing it. It could just be a smack. Actually, it might be a smack off that 10 minute.
Order filled. Order submitted.
I'm trying another VWAP rejection. Why am I trying a VWAP rejection? I get that I'm fighting trend, but here's what I'm seeing. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I'm seeing this 10 minute get rejected. I'm seeing this 10 minute get rejected. I'm seeing the 5 minute struggle. It's trying to go, and maybe it does go, and maybe I'm wrong, which is why my risk is right there. This is where I admit that I'm wrong. But we'll see. 50-50. Folks, I will be the first to tell you that I'm right half the time, I am wrong half the time. The way that I remain net profitable is by, when I'm wrong, cut it quickly. When I'm right, ride it as long as I can. If I am wrong here, my risk is, honestly, I took this short, I could put my risk right there. If I'm right, I get to ride it all the way back down. So like I said, will this one trade be right? I don't know. No one knows. I can't tell you what people are about to do. But I can tell you that if I'm wrong, the risk is manageable. And if I'm right, I get a huge, huge reward.
I don't approach this game of trading and thinking I'm going to be right every single time. In fact, I actually think it's a healthier mindset to assume you're going to be wrong every time, because then that gets you to be in control of your risk even better. And then the times that you're right, it's just a nice surprise. So I don't have some sort of clairvoyant opinion of a rejection here. I'm literally just saying, hey, I like the risk reward setup. I saw a bunch of sellers come in at 50. We puked from 50 down to 90. So that's a 60-point puke, a 50-point puke. And guess what? If we take out 62, this is still the level that I care about, this 958 low. If we could take that out, I feel like I'm going to be golden. I'll feel a lot. Honestly, if I wanted to be really conservative, I could move it to break even right now. There's a strong argument to do it if we take out 70. I guess I should at least update it to here. Save myself there. All right, I am watching these lows like a hawk. 69 and 62. I needed to take out that region. But it's really holding on. See the 5-minute? The 10-minute got rejected from the breakout, but the 5-minute won't break down. Same thing here. It tried to get going, perfectly smacked it. Yeah, and then guess what? We're also at the psychological level of 500. We keep playing the over-under game on 500. The market doesn't know if it really wants to be above 500 or below. We'll see. 50-50 shot, folks. I wanted to get below that. We'll call it 65. There's one level at 69. There's another level at 62. So we'll just call it 65. I wanted to get below that level so I could get the stop to break even, take all risk off the table. Oh, part of me wonders, should I just take all risk off the table now? Because it is a little bit of an abnormal trend, but we're just still, I'm not sold on it quite yet, because we're not really confidently below the 500 rung. It could easily pop up, break even, but then what if it pops and keeps going? You could always re-enter, Matt. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's the right move? What is tactically the right move here? You know what? You know what? Break even. We're taking all risk off the table. We're risking nothing on the play. Free trade, free trade, free trade, free trade, free trade. Now let's hope the free trade doesn't knock me out. But that just guarantees that I stay green on the day. So that's nice. You know, just guarantees we can't go red, at least not on this particular trade. So worst case scenario is break even. And honestly, if it pops, I mean, it could easily knock it out. Icarus isn't even calling for me to go broke even yet. Icarus would go break even on the sweep of 62. So I'm front running it greatly, but I think it's just better account management. So sometimes I need to override the system, and I don't necessarily feel like taking on $600 of risk right now. So no risk, no risk whatsoever. I'd feel a lot more comfortable sweeping this. These light blue lines, this is the support zone that I need it to break. And then I need it to break right here between 40 and 35. That's the 50% retracement, and that's the RTH VWAP. So I'm watching in the event that we snap 62. If that happens, I'm then looking from 35 to 40. That would be my next zone. But if we sweep 62, even Icarus would go right there. So Icarus is stopped to break even anyway. So even though I front ran it, that's exactly what I should be doing. But the current trade is up $1,000. But this is the next zone right here. Yeah. Buyers are to be expected at this point. Buyers are to be expected. Hang on. Copy. Where's paste? Okay, so that's RTH VWAP. And then let's get this VWAP as well. Copy. All right, I'm zooming in on the 100 tick. Let's remove that because that's confusing. Okay, so the red dashed line on the top is the initial balance high. The white dashed line is VWAP. The orange dashed line is regular trading hours VWAP. And the blue dashed line is the 50% retracement of the initial balance. So that's everything that's on the chart right now. Oh, and then these lines are just the 10, the 20, and the 50 EMA. But we're seeing the same thing we've been seeing all day. The market is incredibly indecisive of does it want to be above or below 500. It just doesn't know. It has no idea. What time? 10:20. So we're almost done with the initial balance. The initial balance is from 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern. It's the first trading hour of the day. For my sake, I'm hoping that this IB high holds, because if it doesn't, that means we pushed up and pushed it higher, which knocked me out for break even. I'm not going to cry about it, but I would prefer that we fall at least to 440 here, so I have the opportunity to lock in 87 points. The red line is your mom. Wow. If my mom heard you say that, she would give you a stern talking to. A very, very stern talking to, mister. What perfect timing. The name of this is Red Candle Club. Look at the artwork on this particular album. Just a super emo Piper. All right, we're at my first test zone. Well, we almost were. This is 42.25. We bounced off of 44. We're going to count that as a win regardless. All right, we don't need this. That's confusing. We don't need this. That's confusing. All right, no matter what, guaranteeing myself $280. Stop is now officially in the money. We're playing with the house's money, team. That's how you do it. I know all of these fucking dweeby ass traders out there are telling you, nope, you either let your profit target hit or you let your stop hit. Like, that's how you do it. Don't get your stop to break even. Maybe that's right, but has never worked for me. And in my noggin, if you can make your worst case scenario break even, hence why I built out a free trade system, or even better than that, if you can make your worst case scenario making you money, why would you not take that opportunity? Like, it blows my fucking mind that people don't do that. And I think it's actually these fucking retards from ICT who are told to never get your stop to break even. You either take your risk or you don't. And they're stupid. Like, they literally have cognitive issues is what I'm trying to say. Should I target? Should I make my target this low? Should I full trip it? Short right there, me to the move all the way down? Matt is a hero. In the circle of retard maxing, I am. In the community of people who day in and day out are putting in the proper steps to maximize their retard levels, yes, I'm seen by a hero in that community. And for good reason. I just put in the effort day in and day out. Day in and day out, I think to myself, Matt, how could you be more of a retard? What song is this? Little lo-fi DJ sesh? Little lo-fi DJ sesh? I'm here for it. All right, here's a look at options. Mag 7 coming undone ever since 1016. S&P 500 delta low reading of the day. S&P 500 smacked hard at 600, which was also VWAP on NQ, so a very evident level that could easily get rejected. Your next retest is 5565, but let me double check that for you. Yeah, 60 now. 30. Ugh. Dude, even this support is rapidly disappearing. I would say you have 60, maybe somewhere in this region, but then if that doesn't hold, if we keep going, the evident test is 30. So let me update this. Okay, so this is no longer 25. This is 30. We've had some obvious traders today shift these key levels. Let's look. Okay, so big positive gamma at 530. 45, but you have the 50 target that was support. You have the 60. Yeah, so let's update this as well. It's no longer 65. It is now 60. Okay, so on the S&P 500, if you're playing this rejection, an interesting target level is right here, this 10-point region between 5550, 5560. If that does not hold, you're looking at 530. And if that doesn't hold, you're looking just above 500. So basically it goes like this. If bearish here, target 1, target 2, and then target 3. And then that brings us to a very special commentary. Ah, shit. Buyers just stepped in. 6475. Hang on. Let me pause this. This is kind of important. Generally, I don't have this on my chart because generally there's no real reason to talk about it. But today is different. I very, very rarely have this marked on my chart because commonly it's super far away from spot price, but not now. It is worthwhile to talk about the fact that 6475 is the put side of the JPM collar position. Now, a couple things to say about that. They do this every single quarter, and it doesn't expire on the monthly expiration, as in tomorrow. It expires on the calendar expiration, as in the final trading day of the month, which happens to be the 31st. So it is 2 Tuesdays from now. That is when this particular position expires. This is a shitload of gamma influence. So not only can it act as a target, but it might also act as support. And that actually might be influential on the market makers, bringing this all the way down at some point between now and all the way at the end of the month. And if we do vomit all the way to this level, 6475, once again, this is the put side of the JP Morgan collar. We might end up kind of getting frozen there for the remainder of the month until the position expires. So I need to bring that up. It's a very important position. It's a very big position. Once again, 6475. I'll zoom in so you can see it. It is the put side of the JP Morgan collar, and it expires right here. 6475. It is fucking huge. It is gigantic. It's actually the biggest gamma influence on the chart right now, not counting zero DTE positioning. So that play will be live until the end of this calendar month. It does not expire tomorrow. It expires at the end of the calendar month. It is extraordinarily important. Mark it on your calendar. Pay attention to it because the way things are going, I have a sneaky suspicion that it's going to have a lot of influence for the remainder of trading in this particular calendar month. It's going to actually have a huge influence. So that's, like I said, most of the time the calendar position is way too far away that there's no point in talking about it. But in this unique circumstance, with inflation going up, with no jobs being created, and the Iran war/conflict, we're not that far away from it. So I thought I should do my duty and call it out to all of you. Why does JP Morgan have that influence on price? They have a giant collar position. They have, they basically sell calls and they also get into a put credit spread. And this is the put side of the collar position. It's just a giant position. It's like tens of thousands of contracts. They do it every quarter for their, basically, it's just, it's a collar. I guess, wait, is your question, what is a collar? I guess I don't get the question. Why does JP Morgan have that influence price? First of all, that's not English. If it is what, I guess I don't get the question. JP Morgan every single quarter chooses to execute a very large collar position. A collar position is an option strategy, or it's a combination of being long the underlying, in this case the S&P 500. You sell calls against it. You use the premium you collect from those calls you sold to either buy protective puts or to get into a put debit spread. It is protection against the core position. So they're long the overall market. They just want protection on that overall market. What is a collar? I literally just explained it. You're long the underlying. You sell calls. The premium you collect from those calls you use to buy protection. You can buy protection by going longs, or you can long puts, or you can get a put debit spread. So buy calls then? Not at all. Where the fuck did you get that idea? At no point would that mean buy calls. But if you think it means buy calls, I mean, I guess all the power to you. What's long the underlying? It means that they're long the S&P 500. If you're actively trading and you don't know what long the underlying means, I'm a little concerned. It means you have a long position, a bullish position. Well, not necessarily bullish. It just means long. It means you bought the underlying. And the underlying, when talking about the S&P 500, is the S&P 500. But if you're actively trading right now and you don't know what long the underlying means, you need to do a little bit more studying or research, because right now, like, that means you're not up to date on your options terminology, and the amount of option trades that there are day in and day out is just getting more and more popular, which means that options are getting a lot more influential, which means you need to be like on par with the rest of people doing stuff right now. You need to just study more, because you're missing the boat. Does anyone have problems logging into Take Profit Trader? I logged into him today with no issues. Shit, is this going to get knocked out? Son of a bitch. It bounced right off of this junk in here. Do I just want to close it?
Order filled.
All right, I locked it in. They're all at 1,000 roughly. That's a bummer. I was hoping... I probably should have got out closer to 60 here. I was hoping that maybe it would pop up a little bit and come down. But once again, 500 is too much of a magnet. The market is really, really unsure if it wants to be above or below these levels. So I figured while I still had gains, lock it in, keeps myself at 1,000 on the day. Fake out breakdown. Yeah, but also a fake out breakout. The market it's indecisive. Like, we keep just getting pinned right back down to 500. We popped above it by 50 points, smacked. We went below it by 90 points, popped right back up. I just lost to who? Actually, someone was just asking about TPT. I did just lose connection to him. So maybe, I logged in earlier today, but hang on. Let me see if I could reestablish a connection. I guess at least... but it just reconnected without an issue. So I'm not really 100% sure. Long puts means you go long on puts, just buying a put. Yeah. Long means buying, short means selling. That's long means you're just buying whatever it is, the thing that you're talking about. It doesn't necessarily mean bullish or bearish, because if you're long puts, obviously you're not bullish or bearish because you're long puts. If you're long calls, you bought calls, which means you are bullish. Long just means you bought the underlying. Short means you sold the underlying. It doesn't inherently mean bullish or bearish, because it depends what is the thing that you're talking about. Short puts are bullish, which means selling puts. Yeah, if you're short puts, that means you are neutral bullish. It means you think it's going to be above that value. So it theoretically could go flat or it could go up. So it's neutral. It's a neutral to bullish signal if a bunch of people are selling puts. Yeah, that is right. I guess if there's any confusion on that, I'm happy to clarify. Well, I'm happy I got out when I did, because I would have been knocked out at break even. If we have to say long means buy and short means selling, why do we need to have an intervention with everyone? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just terms of the game, and we all start somewhere. But if you're confused on those terms and you're already actively trading, you're not at the point in your career where you should be actively trading. You should be studying and learning those types of things. So I don't really admonish people for not knowing the terms, because, like I said, at some point we all have to learn those terms and learn what they mean. But I would take an issue with if you're already trading, as in betting actual money, but you don't know what that means. That's a problem. Matt, you're only the second YouTuber talking about the JPM collar. You're becoming an advanced trader. Tell that to my mom. How long have you been trading? I started trading at 7 this morning, 7:30. So about 3 hours. Question about FFN. How long do you have to wait for the payout? I'm still waiting for my first one, but I spoke to their team. Their first one is the longest wait period, because they have to verify your identity for AML and KYC. And I'm trading as an LLC, so they have to process some stuff with that. So I'm still waiting on my first one, but I was told your first payout does take the longest because of just all the processing that they have to do. And then after that, it gets measurably faster. Measurably faster. All right, so I got knocked out of that short for a gain. So I've taken 4 shorts today. 3 of them paid, 1 of them missed. 1 of them cost me money, the other 3 made me money. One of them cost me money, the others made me money. Look at that pump. We bounced right off of the 50% retracement. I don't know. So we bounced off the 50% retracement. We bounced off of regular trading hours VWAP, and then right up to normal VWAP, which is pretty much the IB high. So we just went from one key level to the next key level. Where are we going from here? I don't know. Could be a hardcore rejection. Mag 7, it is improving. S&P 500, it is bouncing off the delta low of the day. The 5-minute, maybe. The 10-minute still bearish. 5-minute, maybe. 10-minute still bearish. I don't know. I'm a little bit more, I guess, biased to the failure of this. That's a lot of risk, though, to go in right now. I was thinking about going short. I should have been short at 523, risking 5. Yeah, I'm a little late. I can't short it now. But I wish I did. I wish I shorted right here. 523, pump, above VWAP, just below the IB. You go short, you're risking 40. You're short at 23, 17 points of risk. That's $340 for NQ. At this point, you could probably already move your stop to break even. I can't chase it now because 90, that's 50 points of risk. That's exactly my gain on the day. I'm not risking 50 points. So I missed it. That's a bummer. That is a sick trade. You're already up 50 points. That's a nice trade. Fuck, I can't believe I missed that one. I've been trying to mean revert this off of VWAP all day. And granted, the last one kind of worked. That's a bummer. Yeah, I just missed it. And it didn't give me a chance to really re-enter. So it's just going without me. It happens. It happens. You're not going to get everyone in this game. It happens. So we have lower highs and lower lower highs and higher lows. So we're consolidating. The major low at 9:47 connected to 10:30, higher lows. The high of the day at 10:13 connected to the next high at 10:36 is lower highs. So by definition right now, lower highs, higher lows, that is literally the definition of consolidation. So on an intraday basis right now, we are currently not trending. Now I'm saying that with large ranges. Now, obviously, if you're ping ponging these ranges, you could still make a lot of money. My comment has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying that we were trending up, higher highs and higher lows, and then right here on that bounce we put in a lower high. So we went from a trend, an intraday trend, to the upside, to now we are trending kind of nowhere, kind of sideways, kind of nowhere, kind of sideways. And guess what? Right back to 2,500. Golly, dude. All you had to do was keep shorting at 2,500, play it for 10 points, and then put in another order to play it at 2,500. The market just keeps getting sucked right back to 2,500, which is kind of making the entire day a little bit of a pain in the ass, because like it's bringing into question, are we breaking out on the 5 minute? Are we breaking out on the 10 minute? Are we breaking out on the 5 minute? Are we breaking out on the 10 minute? Like, we keep getting really close, and then there's just no follow through. So every time you test, it's getting weaker. So it's making it tough to short it, but then we're not getting the follow through, which is making it tough to go long. So, I mean, I'd prefer just like a swift, decisive movement from here to make our life easier. Tori had that trend line drawn, just saying. Yeah, it's because I took her class. I would have never known to do that if I didn't spend $6,500 on that class. How lucky are we that I spent all that money to learn how to connect one high to another high? You're welcome. If you guys want to Venmo me for that, we took that class together. I would have never known to do that. I actually didn't know. I was like, wait, do you connect there to there? Or like, is it better to connect? Are you supposed to connect this to that? Or like, then at one point I was like, are you supposed to connect the high? And then I got confused because I was like, oh, like, shit, I can't even delete that. Let me undo this one. Why can't I delete this line? Okay, there we go. I was like, I got confused because I was like, do you connect the high to the high? Do you connect the high to the low? Do you connect the low to the high? Like, I was just getting all forms of confused on this one. And then I was like, oh, maybe you just connect the midpoint to the midpoint. Like, honestly, I was a lost little puppy before I took that class. I didn't know. I was connecting lows to highs, highs to lows, midpoints to midpoints. And then after spending thousands and thousands of dollars, I realized that it's actually highs to highs and lows to lows. That's where that was like the real breakthrough for me. So many lines. Yeah, welcome to the world of trendline trading. This is what you have to do. This is what right now in Wall Street, in Manhattan, this is what hedge funds are doing. They're connecting all this stuff. That's the real secret of hedge funds, folks. You can draw lines, you can do it, but it's really tough to do it properly. So you have to be careful. But once you get it like dialed in, that's when you know you're at the hedge fund level. That's exactly when you know you're at the hedge fund level. What is this? Oh, I like this. We're just vibing. We're just waiting to connect more trend lines. I'm confused. Lines go up. See, I was confused on that as well. But they can go up, they can go down, and they can go sideways. That's the tricky part. That's where I also got confused. So I wouldn't blame yourself on that one. I would not blame yourself if you made that mistake, because I did it as well. Turns out lines can go anywhere in all reality. That blew my fucking mind too. Oh, brother. Which way are we going? Matt, don't even try to explain magnets. I don't think the world knows how magnets work. You're telling me they create an electromagnetic field? Fields are for hay. Hay is for horses. You're telling me that magnets make food for horses? I've heard a lot of crazy things in my day, but that might take the cake, folks. That might take the cake. Can a line make a circle? Yeah. Did you have an upgrade fee for FNF? You mean FFN or FNF? FFN, Funded Futures Network? No, there's no upgrade fee. You have to email them and they'll email you back the coupon code if you use code Goonie when you signed up. But if you're talking about FNF, I actually have no idea what FNF is, so I don't know how to help you on that one.
Order filled. Order submitted.
Fuck my life. What am I doing? I have to pee so bad. Oil's going up. Let's go to the 5 minute on this stuff. You know what? I want to listen to that Jerome Powell song again. That song was a vibe. This is why the market's down. F your puts. Shit, that short was bad. Five minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minutes bearish, 4 hours bearish. 5 minutes bearish, but it's testing. 10 minutes bearish, but it's testing. 30 minutes bearish, 4 hours bearish. Momentum is bearish, but the shorter time frames on NQ and even a little bit of ES here. The 5 minute, it was testing. It's just the 10's been rejected all day. And it happened to have been rejected pretty much perfectly at 6,600. Would have never known how to do that. That was $6,000 of education, folks. Did you go short? Yeah, I went short. I'm playing for this VWAP break, the regular trading hours. Remember, the orange is regular trading hours VWAP, white is normal VWAP. I'm playing for the break of 49. I'm playing for the break of 36. I'm playing for the test of the overall upsloping trend line. So I'm praying it breaks. I'm praying it breaks. And then if this breaks, I'm going to try to ride it all the way down to 325. But in all reality, if we snap 36, if we snap 30, I'll move my stop to break even. But anyway, I'm short at 59. Just trying to trade with momentum. Like I said, momentum is bearish. I mean, it's not the most bearish, but 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hours bearish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hours bearish. All of momentum is bearish. Now, momentum might switch. That's possible. And if it does switch, obviously I'm getting out. Mag 7's going flat. S&P 500 is going down. So I'm even trading with the current flow of the S&P 500. We had a technical rejection right there, but I guess it is fair to say, even though options are neutral bearish, momentum is bearish, price action is consolidating. We're not trending in price action. So I'm basically betting that it breaks in my favor. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. It just keeps getting pushed right back to 500 though on NQ. Shit. Fuck. Nope. No VWAP breakdown instead of VWAP bounce for the 9th time today. Puke to it. Bounced. Big bounce. Puke to it again. Bounce again. Puke to it again. Bounce again. I was hoping that the third test, third time's a charm, we'd actually be breaking down. I was thinking how many times, how much like dry powder do these buyers have, but apparently enough to get it to bounce again. We'll see. Fuck. We'll see. I'm not necessarily checkmated yet. Not yet, but not looking the best. VWAP sandwich, yeah. We're just in between actual VWAP and regular trading hours VWAP. So, yeah, you could argue that we're just sandwiched in between those zones. That's fair. Dude, we just keep going right to 500. I'm going to lose my mind at this 500 level. Well, if you do get on the right side of any of these moves, so even though we're not overall trending, the intraday ranges are huge, which is a good opportunity. You could easily pass one of these tests today. Remember, this is the final day for Apex. 13 hours left. 85% off with code Goonie. My favorite accounts is 150K end of day drawdown. Like I said, those are my favorites, but you should use whatever you have the best odds of success with. I commonly get that question. I like the 150K end of day drawdowns. I believe you could take those now for $60, $65. If you do the 50K accounts, it's even cheaper. I just get that question a lot, so I wanted to answer that. But once again, this is the last trading session to use this deal, up to 85% off with code Goonie. And of course, if you want to trade with me, if you want to be mentored by me, GoonieTrading.com. If you have any questions, come to the contact page and it comes directly to me. That is actually me responding to you. Shit. Should I be using...
Order filled.
No, I don't want to. All right, I used up the casino's money on the day. I used up all my free rolls on this chop bullshit. Look at that. Just we just keep. It's just the game of VWAP. VWAP to VWAP to VWAP to VWAP to VWAP to VWAP to VWAP. So, flat. Flat, flat, flat. Flat, flat, flat. Is this going to be the actual breakout here? If I do play this breakout, I mean, it keeps knocking on the door of the breakout right here. 5 minutes knocking, 10 minutes not so much. 5 minutes knocking, 10 minutes knock. It's trying to do something. Obviously, the 30 minutes still bearish on both, but I'm not so convinced. But see, the Mag 7's at an intraday high now. SPY not so much. And look at that. We tagged it again, right back to 500. This is just that compression day. We're not trending. Yeah, I'm done with this price action. It's not whack. It's not whack. It's just we're not trending. This is what you would clarify as non-trending price action. So you just need the patience to wait for it to actually trend. But all we're doing today is ping-ponging from one VWAP to the next VWAP. Yeah, we're not escaping 500 at all. I was hoping in here on this short, I was like, okay, another lower high, the third, fourth distinct test of VWAP. Maybe we'll break. Obviously, it just didn't happen, so I had to admit I was wrong, and I gave back my gains on the day. So I'm scratch. I guess commissions. So head, it's not really above water, but it's also not below water. It's, I suppose, at water. How do I want to play it? Maybe I just wait. It is choppy bullshit. We're just clearly not ranging. We go to one VWAP, go to the other VWAP. All we're doing is going from the clear key level to the next one to get rejected, to bounce back, to get rejected, to bounce back. We're just ping-ponging these key levels. Back to 500, dude. How many times can we watch it get rejected just to go back to VWAP? 5 minute lower highs, higher lows. Same with the Qs. Silver's actually recovering a little bit, but still down pretty bad on the day. Oil is going flat. 5 minute is testing, 10 minute was testing, 30 minutes bearish, 4 hours bearish. 5 minutes testing, very much testing. 10 minutes testing, 30 minutes bearish, 4 hours bearish. So the trade is easier if it fails, because then that's in alignment with the larger time frames. The trade is much, much easier if this fails. If it goes, obviously you could take it, but hang on. Sorry, someone is deciding to call me. Sorry about that noise.
This is our last song.
Is it another fail here? Jesus. There's a little, they're making this not easy.
Like a fucking mess. I was one bad trade from a margin call meltdown. Lost it all fast, now I'm spiraling down, 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 down. One dog bed, now I'm out of the game. But I'll be back next week, still ain't learned a thing. Took a loan, max the bed, thought I'd ride that rocket jet. Now my balance looking like a post-crash cigarette. Saw the news, bought the hype, should've known it's all a grift. Now I'm back on in the stock like it's my only Christmas gift. Tried to hedge, got wrecked, tried to pivot, lost the bet. Took a swing, caught a knife, now I'm drowning in regret. Told myself I'd play it smart, just one more and then I'm through. Now I'm outside in the rain screaming, please just break even, dude. I was chasing tickets like they owe me rent. Now the broker's knocking saying pay your debt. I was diamond handing but my hands
Dude.
got wrecked and my P.
How many times can we just watch this? I mean, I guess that's the whole point. The whole point is just waiting.
Lost it all fast, now I'm spiraling.
What happened to the big Apex payout, man? I was waiting for a while and I didn't see any updates. There's no update. I'm just waiting. All I'm told is that they're reviewing the process. They're doing the KYC, the AML, and when you're talking about that much money, it just lengthens the process. And then I think, in my opinion, it's getting longer because like there's so many other shifts with the company as well, with the new accounts, with calling out the scamming influencers. So it's just taking a while. Right back to this VWAP. Holy shit. What time is it? It's 11:526. That's going to have a bitch of a time breaking. I guess it could go up to 6,600. That has some distance to go. The Nasdaq is a bit stronger. Wow, this is not making it easy. Folks, I don't know. If you're just randomly shooting here, like if you're just ripping it from the hip, you just don't know. Because like, it's just not trending. I mean, if you are trading right now, hey, I wish you the best of luck. I hope whichever way this breaks, it does break in your favor. I'm not rooting against you. But there's just simply no trend at this moment in time. So this is in, I suppose, an exercise of extreme patience. So that's all you have to do. Patience. Don't overdo anything. Don't over leverage it. Don't force a trade. Wait for the evidence setup. Wait for trendline breakout, VWAP breakout, confident hold, momentum shift. I have to admit today would be easier to the south side because that would mean momentum and everything is in alignment. If we break to the top side, that would mean the shorter time is kind of opposite. So the trade's an easier trade if it breaks down. It's very much an easier trade. But I suppose that's just how this is all going. I suppose that's just the kind of day we have. So please, this is your friendly neighborhood reminder to be not overdoing any of the craziness. Wait for the setup. And if it comes, it comes. If not, it's okay to not trade. That's pretty much what I have for you today. This is the final deal for that Apex sale, 85% off with code Goonie. If you want to trade with me, GoonieTrading.com is where you can get signed up. Other than that, hey, try to survive this Thursday. Right now, not much is happening. That doesn't mean something can't happen, but of course, also maybe still just nothing happens all day. So don't get too over nuts with the whole situation. Anyway, that's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes. We'll be posting content later on today and then streaming once again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. bright and early. That's what I have for you. Peace.